Here's a Lenovo laptop. The logo is visible here. Let's take a look at it. There is nothing on the front, only in this portion from where you can open it. On the right side we have LEDs. We have the local area network connector that can be moved. There is one single USB port on this side, that Kensington lock thing. On the back there is nothing, no connectors on the back. On the left side we have the power connector, a USB-A, HDMI, a USB-C, and the audio connector, headphone and microphone. So that is the left side. On the back we have one large opening for the air intake. Specifications are here on a nylon-like looking thing. They are barely visible. You can see that it's Lenovo V15 G4, but you can barely read it. The texture is not helping. Rubber feet, two of them on the front and one large on the back. Speaker here, speaker there. The air enters here. And it exits here on the front somewhere, on those vents. The power button is here on the right side. We have another Lenovo logo on the right side here, just as on the cover. The screen is pulling the keyboard portion also, so we need two hands to open it. You can push it all the way down, so it is on horizontal. There is a camera here on the top, which can be closed. Now it's opened on the right, and now it's closed. The microphones should be those. There is no keyboard backlight. That's the touchpad, around 10 centimeters. That's the left click and that's the right click. There is no separation. You have to press the touchpad itself. Only the left portion are the buttons. Nothing on the top. The arrow keys are in one line. On some Lenovo models they are lowered a little bit, they are separated. So the up and down buttons are smaller. It has a numeric keypad also on the right side. If you touch a button, then it's showing the battery percentage. This one has an Intel i5 processor. It doesn't have a dedicated GPU, so it's on the processor itself. Currently it has an operating system, Windows 11. LEDs are visible on the escape, caps lock and num lock. There is an LED here on the right side also. Windows 11 already loaded. And when you charge it, then here another orange LED turns on. And let's power it off. And it's pretty quick. So that's the Lenovo V15 G4 laptop. It's not too thick, it's a little bit thicker than my finger, and you cannot open it with one hand. It's pulling the lower portion also. The top portion is plastic and the lower portion is plastic also. It has a texture to it, those tiny little shapes. The same texture is on the front also. Let's say here at the Lenovo logo. And this is the charger of the laptop. Here you can see the size, compared it to a hand. It's a 65 watt charger. This has a European plug, 220 volts, and that should be inserted into the laptop. So it's a cylindrical connector. That should go there. There was a little power inside this, and the orange LED powered on. Let's plug in this end also, and now the orange light is visible. That is on the left side of the laptop. The charger is here. The USB port is next to it. So if you want to charge it also, then you have to lift up this cable. Luckily it's cylindrical and it can be rotated. And here on this cover we have some more details. function shortcuts, function Q switches among the computer's operating modes, function Q, we have a leaf there, low, medium, high maybe, by using function and Q. The next one is function plus M, enables and disables the touchpad. So if the touchpad is not doing anything, the cursor is not moving, then function and M should be pressed and the touchpad is enabled. Now the cursor is moving. Function M, touchpad is disabled, cursor is not moving anywhere. F10, F11, phone calls in Microsoft Teams. The camera on the top of the laptop can be physically covered. You can check that one if you go to the start menu, type in camera and start that camera app. My hand is in front of that camera. On the right side is enabled and there is a light also. When it is pulled to the left, the camera is disabled. Your camera might be covered. Camera on the right, camera off on the left. When the program is using the camera, that LED is on. If I close this camera program by going there to the X, then the LED turns off. Camera once again. Something is using the camera and the LED turns on. Alt F4 and it's off. The escape key also has an LED. There you can see it is lit. And that means that function lock is enabled. For example, Windows NE opens a window and Alt F4 closes it. That's when the LED is on. If you use function and escape, the LED turns off, and if you open a window, you cannot close it with Alt F4 anymore. It's muting and unmuting the mic. That's because when the LED is off, then it's not using the F functions, F4 in this case, but it's using the top one, which is the muting of the mic in this case. So function escape, and when the LED is on, then you can use the F functions. For example, Alt F4 is closing Windows. If you want to use directly the, let's say, volume up and volume down, then you have to disable that LED. Function escape, and now you can bring the volume down and bring the volume up directly by pressing the F2 key without the need of the function key. By default it should be on. LED is on. Caps Lock also has an LED. Now it's typing capital letters, those which are visible here. And now it's typing not exactly those, but a smaller version. Large or capital and small. Numlock also has an LED. If you open, let's say, Windows and R and type in Notepad, when the LED is on and you press any of these numbers, it is typing numbers. If you disable it, then it's not using the numbers, but it's using the lower one, which is the arrows. So now if I press the 4, the cursor will go to the left. If I press 6, the cursor will go to the right. So by pressing 4, that is, the cursor is going to the left. Press 6, and the cursor is going to the right. So when the LED is off, it is using the arrows, and when the LED is on, it is using the numbers. For example, you want to quickly use the calculator that is here. By pressing it, nothing happens. So disable it, function escape, and now you can use the calculator, and there it is. But now you cannot use Alt F4 to close it. But you can open another calculator. Now this one is larger. So function escape, and now you can use Alt F4 to close them. But you cannot open another one. The charger is covered using a paper. It says remove this protective paper before using. Overheating may cause shutdown. So you have to remove that paper cover.